At InDigital, we know that public safety professionals hold themselves to a high standard. In fact, standard doesn't do it justice. In over 25 years working alongside you, carrying millions of calls over our IP networks, your dedication has inspired us. That's why our ESI Net goes beyond industry standards, not only i3 compliant, but designed to adapt to future development for a network you can count on when it matters most. Learn more at indigital.net.
If Within the Trenches has ever taught you something, open your eyes to what it is like to be a 911 dispatcher, or has inspired you to become one, then help support us and join our Patreon. Get exclusive bonus content, one-of-a-kind swag, discounts on merchandise, ad-free early access to new episodes, and much more. To join, please visit patreon.com/WTT podcast. And if you're an industry partner, we have something for you as well. And now, for the show.
This is Jordan, and you're listening to the Code 7 Podcast Network.
Warning. This episode contains the 3 A's of podcasting: adult content, adult language, and awesomeness. You've been warned.
Welcome to Within the Trenches, true stories from the 911 dispatchers who live them.
Hey, what's going on? This is Ricardo of the Code 7 Podcast Network, and this is going to be Within the Trenches, True Stories from the 911 Dispatchers Who Live Them. This is going to be episode 569, and this session, or this episode rather, is going to be the second half of the Imagine Listening session from Washington, D.C. for the IAED's Navigator Conference. This is going to be open mic. This is where we share the lighter side of dispatch, the funny shit that happens that you don't always get to hear about. Without further ado, this is episode 569. Again, this is going to be an open mic episode and a continuation from the Imagine Listening that you heard in episode 568. This is 569. This episode is also sponsored by InDigital, Leader Next Gen Core Services. Shout out to subscribers to the podcast as always. And without further ado, here's episode 569.
Dispatch.
There is no one over here to cook our lunch. We are waiting for our lunch, and there's no one here to cook our lunch.
All right, calm down. Where are you at?
The group home. Now, what are you going to do?
We'll get some help over there for you, okay?
Welcome to Open Mic, where we visit the lighter side of dispatch, because laughing is good medicine. Hey, what is going on? This is Ricardo with the Code 7 Podcast Network, and we are about to get started with Open Mic. We are live. Well, I say live, this is pre-recorded, we're not live. I'm just saying, we're here at everybody right away is like, oh shit, are you serious? We are here at the 2024 Navigator Conference, and I have a live audience with me. Let's hear it. That gave me goosebumps. Nice. So we just finished off a very emotional but powerful Imagine Listening session. Thank you all for being here. Happy National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week, and now we're going to share the funny shit that happens in 911, the lighter side of dispatch, and we're going to do this rapid fire, as many stories as we can get in while we are here. Who has a funny story? Oh, snaps, right here. Okay, and I'm going to get my steps in.
All right, this one's called the Coffee Pot Caper. Received a 911 call from 7-Eleven and said that some dude came in and stole their coffee pot, like their hot coffee pot, and walked out. All right, sent an officer on the way. While that officer was on the way, just about a half a mile down the road, got another call from the White Hen. Some dude came in, threw a coffee pot at a patron, exclaiming, 7-Eleven coffee is better, left. Oh, that's not all. So patron was okay, no ambulance needed, took a report. About a couple hours later, we get a call. So-and-so is in front of my house and he's not supposed to be here. I think he's on drugs. Okay, send an officer out. Next thing you know, we're in a foot pursuit. Struggling with the officer, he takes off, they lose him. They're in the area ATLing, and then all of a sudden you hear, naked southbound. We found him naked running southbound. And they got him after a few tases, a little bit of drugs, but it ended up being the guy who stole the coffee pot and threw it at the patron, and we called him the coffee pot caper. He even made the Indianapolis newspaper the next day.
Very nice. Okay, I'm gonna run this way, and then I'm gonna work my way back over here like I was doing before. So,
Excuse the language in this, I'll tell you first. But we had this girl, she's a frequent flyer. She loves to stab her men. She likes to work the streets a little bit. And so we had this guy who was from the mountains of North Carolina working with us for on the coast. He talks like this. So she called and she said, I got a condom stuck in my pussy. And he's like, you got what, ma'am? So she repeated it again. So he had to empty that call. And EMS, they were just like, they couldn't believe what was going on. And yeah, so she continues to say it over and over again. Well, to know this person is to know that she also is missing an arm. So the officer calls in, and he's like, well, no wonder she can't get it. She ain't got but one good arm.
holy hell! Every time I do open mic, there's always something new.
So this may start off like a bad one, but it's a good one, I promise. So this is just a few months ago. An elderly woman called. It's like 12:30 in the morning. She lives in a senior living. Is one of the cities dispatched for, and she kind of goes off on this tangent about how she thinks she passed out because she tried a new supplement she ordered online, and then she starts talking about her 8-month-old grandson who's there, and then she's like, I think something's wrong with him. I don't think he's not awake. I don't think he's breathing. I'm like, oh God, this just took a turn. So I started the ambulance, started asking questions. She's on the landline, so I'm trying to get her to figure out how to put the phone on speaker to start giving CPR instructions. So we're kind of doing this back and forth and whatnot. So the responders finally get there, get up to her room, and she was doing CPR on a doll.
Yeah. Okay, one more. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to get a few from each section, okay? So try to keep you on time as much as possible, okay?
So this was nothing a caller did, but I was a fresh call taker, like 21 years old. And lady calls and said, we need help over here, someone just fell out. And I said, fell out of what? And she was like, what do you mean fell out of what? And I said, you said he fell out of something. What did he fall out of, like a chair? And she was like, no, you idiot, he passed out. And I'm like, I had never heard that term before. That was totally new to me. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. So,
Yes, usually it's like dumb fell out. Like they dumb fell out. I would have been the same way, man.
This one doesn't have, it's kind of colorful, but we had a guy who called 911 and very, very seriously said, as a substitute for sex, I stuck a butternut squash up my ass and I can't get it out. And my partner in the background goes, send in a hot bath. And we just transferred him over to EMS.
How many of you feel like you probably need to take a shower after all right.
So we had this female that wanted to get some legal advice from a deputy. And of course I had to ask her what she needed the legal advice for. And she said, well, hypothetically, she was going to be breaking up with her boyfriend that she didn't like anymore. But she also wanted to have his baby. So she wanted to convince him to somehow ejaculate into a cup and then she was going to turkey baste it into herself. But she also wanted to know if she could get him for reckless abandonment 3 years down the road, because she doesn't want to mess with him right now.
Where's Mari when you need it?
So a guy calls in, he's at a gas station, and I can hear the gas station noises in the background, and he's screaming, "There's a naked woman in my truck." And to my credit, I did not immediately say, and to be clear, this is a problem? Because that is honestly the first thing that came to mind. Come to find out, after the officers get there, he worked in another city about 30 miles away, and after work, they went out for happy hour. And it was a hot, hot July day. He stayed at happy hour way too late. He gets back about 11 o'clock at night, says, "I need gas, let me stop and get gas now so I don't have to do it in the morning." While he's in the gas station underneath the bright lights around the pumps, this naked woman stands up in the back of his truck. She had been at the bar, drank way too much, got hot, took all her clothes off, crawled in the bed of his truck to take a nap. And the quote of the night is from the responding officer, because it happened to be one of the two cops in town that I know personally. And I texted him and said, "What was up with this?" And he says, "I'll be there in 5 minutes. I'm dropping her off at the jail." And he comes in and he says, "You're not going to believe this." And tells me the whole story. And he says, "And by the way, just to be clear, the ones that want to get naked are never the ones I want to see naked."
That's a fact. 2 people back right now.
So taking calls for a foothill region in California where a lot of ranch homes and family complexes on them. I get a call from, realistically, probably in the early 70s. It might have she's 30 years old. And she calls and she goes, "I'm just going to lay this out as evenly as I can for you. My husband has a cucumber up him and I can't get it out." I thought the squash was going to steal my thunder. So, a little bit of a longer response time in these foothills, so she wants me to stay on the phone with her, of course, until they get there, because she's scared and she's nervous. That's fine. But like I said, a lot of family complexes on these ranch homes. So what I hear next is the front door open, the daughter of the couple coming in. And all I hear is everything okay, Dad? Dad, what the fuck? And then I need to go now.
So this is very similar to like the fell out thing, but when you're not really understanding what the person is saying. This gal called and she said she wanted to report her brother as a runaway. She said, "I want to report my brother recognized." And I said, "Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Like, I got you." She's like, "No, ma'am, recognized." And I'm like, "No, really, I understand what you're saying. What's your brother's name?" She's like, "I just told you, recognized." Her brother's name was recognized. Spelled WREKKANIZZ, of course.
All right. Last 2 stories over here, and then I'll wrap it up. We'll get to go.
My units were out looking for a car that had a very distinguishable sticker on it, and I did not understand him on the radio, and they now use this voice recording clip as an appropriate clarifier in their training to add a little funny. He said that there was a Queen sticker on the car, and because of the muffledness and where the investigator in his seat, it was hard to understanding. I didn't think he said Queen. I thought maybe he said, and I asked on the radio, did he mean Lightning McQueen as in the movie Cars, or did he mean Queen, like of England? And he came back and he said, you know, like Queen of England, one who died, royalty, the monarchy. And then he goes, she's waving, and it's the picture of her with her crown waving. And I'm like, you're not running from cops. Why would you want a sticker that we wouldn't even have in this area normally?
Thank you so much. Last one over here.
I had a gentleman call and request for verified his location. An unhoused gentleman who happened to be in the back of the truck. Okay, tell me exactly what happened. Well, my paid female rode me too hard, and I think she broke my ribs. He was complaining that his paid female in the back of the U-Haul truck rode him too hard and broke a couple of his ribs.
Oh my God. So, as I said in the beginning, it takes one story for them to all go downhill, and holy hell did that go downhill. But that was awesome. That's what open mic is all about. So, thank you all. I'm going to share one last story, and I hope you dig this one, and then I have just one quick message for every single one of you, okay? So, this was years ago, obviously. I was in dispatch at the time. We would do 312s and a 4. Don't ask me why. I don't know why they did it, but the 4-hour would be on a Wednesday. So for me, it was, I was doing the 1A to 5A, okay? I'm headed to dispatch. I stop at a gas station because I need to get something to drink, I need to get something to eat. And I'm walking through, I find a 12-ounce sugar-free Red Bull. So good. And then I'm looking for food. And I find a gas station burrito. The gas station burrito was called the Red Bomb. Look it up, Google it, you'll find it, okay? I didn't realize that also was potentially gonna be my future. So I get to dispatch, plenty of time. I heat up this burrito, okay? I'm thinking that I'm gonna be on backup phones. Nope, I'm on main phones. That's fine, it's only 4 hours, it's gonna be fine. I destroy that burrito, so good. I chug that Red Bull, okay? And I get a phone call from the agency south of us. They are chasing someone. They're about to come into our county, so they want us to put out a be on the lookout. So I start typing, I'm getting all the information, and then, oh no, my stomach starts talking to me. And I'm thinking, hell no, this cannot be happening right now. This cannot be happening right now. And I started to get a little bubble gut, and I am sweating while I'm sitting there. And I'm sitting by myself on the other side. If anyone was over there with me, they would probably smell beef. Like, that's how much I was sweating this. And I'm freaking out. So I had already sent a message to my partners. I sent them a message saying, if I have to get up to go use the bathroom, I need you to take this call, because I don't know about your dispatch centers, but ours had a bathroom right inside the actual center, right? I wasn't about to drop heat right there. No. No, I wasn't. And then we've got a bathroom that's down the hallway, okay? I stand up and I'm like, I have to go down the hall, take the call. I haul ass running so fast that there's like smoke behind me, hopefully smoke, nothing else, right? I run, I do my thing, I come back, I'm like, all right, I'll take the phone call. So I'm back on the phone with them, and again, my stomach starts bubbling. I'm like, hell no. Like, what, why? Now, sequels, right? Sequels in movies are the worst. Well, in the shit world, it's the same, okay? And I don't know if you've ever tried to hold in a fart, but it kind of turns into a back fart, you know, it goes up to the top. And so I put them on hold. And I stand up, and as soon as I stand up, my buddy stands up at the same time. He's like, you got to poop, dude? So it's not a warrant, you don't have to confirm it. But yes, I do. So again, I haul, running, I do my thing, but this time when I come back, nobody's on the phone anymore. I'm like, oh, it's over. Like, yes, all right. I sit down, phone rings again. It's the same people. So what was happening was this guy was coming into our county and then going back, coming in, going back. And all I could think was, put the stop sticks down, take them out. I'm dealing with my own shit. Like, I'm dealing with my own. And again, this now like trilogy of poo that's happening. And I start getting that bubble head again, and I put him on hold, and I stand up, and I said, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna go right here. And they're like, what? I was like, no, not right here. Not literally right here. I'm gonna use the bathroom that's right here, inside the center. So I go in, I turn on the fans, I turn on the water, anything to mask the hell I'm about to go into. Because if you've ever seen Dumb and Dumber, oh yeah, I'm like screaming. So I come out, my coworkers are busting up laughing, and I'm telling them, and I was a supervisor at the time, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna turn the heat up so that you can smell it. Which I didn't do that. Now, here's the thing. Years later, I'm on a dispatch, okay? I am on a trip with my family to Washington State. We stop in Montana to get gas. I'm walking through and I get this weird twitch. And I'm like, what the hell? That was familiar and odd and scary. And I turn around, and I shit you not. It's funny I said that word too. I swear, I look in the cooler. There's Red Bomb burritos next to a display of Red Bull. And all I could think was, screw you, Montana. That's my story. So before you leave, I just want to tell you something really, really fast. Again, we are celebrating this week for all of you, National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. But not just this week, every single day of what you do, because you are important as hell. And I hope that you not only leave this session, but also the entire conference holding your head up high with what it is that you do. I was recently told that only 2 to 4% of the population can do what you do. So hold your head up high. One voice can change the world. And I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about every single one of you. One voice, your voice, can change the world. You might feel sometimes like what you do is just a drop in the water. But think about those ripples. That's that impact of what you do. And even if you don't feel as though your voice can change the world, just remember this. Your voice can change the world of your caller. So thank you for what you do. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Enjoy the rest of the conference.
And welcome back. Going into the open mic sessions, you never know. I mean, it's just like anything. You never know what's going to happen. You never know what you're going to get. But especially in the open mic portion of the Imagine Listening session, some of those funny stories are just, it's those moments where you think you've taken the most outrageous call. And then the next one comes in is like, hold my beer. And boom, another one comes out. So there you have it. That was the open mic session. I've got more Imagine Listening sessions and then one-on-one interviews like I've always done as well coming up. There was just so many Imagine Listening sessions and so many powerful stories out there, whether it be the Imagine Listening portion or the open mic piece that I've had. Again, this was from back in April at the Navigator conference, and I have several more coming up. So be on the lookout for all of those amazing and powerful stories from the 911 professionals who have lived them. And this episode is sponsored by InDigital Elite Next Gen Core Services. And shout out to everyone, subscribers of the podcast, all of you who are listening, sharing, supporting, just all of it. Thank you so, so much. If you have any comments, questions, or you ever want to be a guest on the show, whether you are new to dispatch, seasoned, or retired, I would love to share your story. I've been doing this for over a decade, and it's my passion. It's what I've been doing for so long, and I would love to share your story with literally millions from around the world. So thank you for everything that you do. And for those comments, questions, all of it, you can send an email to wttpodcast@gmail.com. Once again, that is wttpodcast@gmail.com. Or to make it completely easy, to simply go to links.co/WTT podcast. And that's links with 2 I's. .co/WTT podcast, and you'll find everything there. Email, social media, where to hear the latest episode, where to pick up some podcast dispatch merchandise, links for over 250 hours worth of continuing education for 911 professionals, but also where you can schedule an episode. There's a link there as well, and where you can purchase the Imagine Listening books. This can be seen on Facebook, YouTube, as well as X and LinkedIn Live, and then you can listen 24/7 on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, your favorite podcasting app, and within the trenches.net. Have a good one, everyone, and I'll see you all in the next one.